Well, there are many myths about growing clematis, and some of the easy, low-hanging myths are that they have to have their feet in the shade. Absolutely not true. Another myth is that that you can hurt them by pruning them if you don't prune them correctly, and people have a big fear of pruning, which is why we developed the stoplight red, yellow, and green method. You can't kill a plant by pruning it. You can maybe just alter the flowering time. So there's really no reason to be afraid of it. They're relatively easy to grow if they're planted correctly and they receive adequate water through the growing season. Well, one myth is that they need to have their feet in the shade. They really don't. If you go to professional breeders' display gardens, they never have companion plants grown around the feet of the clematis. They usually have them with gravel top dressing. So you see pretty quickly that is a gardening style if you like to have plants planted around the base of your clematis versus a plant requirement. It also can take nitrogen and nutrients from the ground that the clematis might benefit from. So I would say if you want to have companion plants, don't put them too close to the clematis. This is obviously a vining clematis that's growing on a very tall structure, but we've allowed some of the clematis to come forward and it will enrobe, and you can see here it's beginning to enrobe the shrub with flowers. So one plant can go both horizontal and vertical. Clematis are very adaptable to soil pH, to a variety of soil and mediums, and also to a variety of full sun to partial shade. Absolutely, they're a very adaptable, agreeable plant if they're planted correctly and they get adequate water. No, I think the color range is vast, from white to green and white to the deepest reds and purples, and yellow clematis. One group has yellow flowers that bloom a little bit later. So it's a very big variety and a very long blooming season when you consider the capability of one plant or having the diversity of the species and showcasing, several different types. You have a very long bloom season. Well, we have some of the diversity of the genus here, and one of the things that is usually forgotten with clematis is that they can be fragrant. This is a nodding Viticella hybrid called Betty Corning that is actually fragrant in some gardens. You've got a large flowered variety there, and we also have a species, Flammula clematis, that is very fragrant in warm weather in the summer. So you can see a little bit of the diversity that the genus offers here in the flower styles right here. No, all clematis are not fragrant, and all fragrant clematis have a varying degree of fragrance depending on the weather and your climate. Generally, warmer, hotter weather makes the plant more fragrant, but there are a good number that are fragrant. They're not underrated in anything. I think they're just considered hard to grow, and people do have failure with them sometimes if they haven't planted them correctly. But I think that everybody thinks that they're beautiful and that they covet them, or they could see the charm that they could add to the garden.